if you look at when I came in, we were facing a, almost a $4 billion budget deficit. This job, basically when you put out your budget, you're making your best proposal as far as how you should allocate the dollars. If you look at most of those reductions in education were tied to federal money, federal stimulus dollars that were put into our state and then taken away. As you know, one of the things I've tried to stop is this idea that we're going to take money from the federal government on programs that we wouldn't normally fund on our own, knowing that they're going to end in 2 to 4 years, and then people wonder what happened at that point in time. I don't want to do that, and I don't think you wouldn't do your own personal life like that, and so I'm not going to do the state budget like that. So, but look, I've traveled the state. I've talked to people all across the state. If you look at what they want is they don't want their taxes to go up. They want government to be held more accountable. They want somebody that's going to come in and try to find efficiencies, and they want dollars to be put in education. But they expect whoever they elect to go really look closely at how all this money is spent. And so what I've done is try to allocate the dollars the best way I can, and I've asked all of our agencies to figure out how they can tighten their belts, just like every family in Florida probably has had to do.
You talk about that and your outside experience coming into government. Given your experience in Tallahassee, and you look at the federal system where if you say people don't want their taxes to go up, they want government to be accountable, they want to find efficiencies, and you look at the federal level and there's this gridlock going on. What advice, or how if you were president, let's say, what advice would you give to Barack Obama to sort of fix the situation, or is there anything you can offer?
Well, what I would do is I would think about what every family's done. What every family, almost all the families in this country have had to do is they've had to tighten their belts. They can't go out and spend 50% more than what they take in. They've got at the federal level, they got to do what we have to do at the state level: balance the budget, watch how you spend your money, find efficiencies, prioritize. I mean, there's a lot of nice things to have in government, but people aren't willing to pay for that, and that's what the federal government's going to have to do it. It's just when they do it. Whether it's because of who gets elected or whether it's because the bond holders are going to force the federal government to do it. They're not going to continue to allow the country to be spending significantly more than they take in year after year after year. We cannot continue. So I would balance. The first thing I'd do is I'd say, look, I'm going to balance the budget, and I'd figure out how to do it. I mean, when they went through the debt ceiling increase, I was on CNN, and they were telling me how I didn't understand it, because I said, it's not about raising the debt ceiling, it's about spending. And I said, think about it. If you have a 24-year-old son or daughter and they're wasting money, would you be more excited when somebody lent them more money or when they stopped spending? You'd be more excited when they stopped spending. So that's what our federal government's going to have to do at some point. And then what they do to us is they take citizens' tax dollars in Florida, they take them at the federal level, then they want to give them back to us on programs, but they want to tell us how to spend all the money. It's like Medicaid. If I don't do the right thing on Medicaid, I won't get reelected. But don't tell me that they know, that they're going to give me all these rules. It doesn't make any sense.
Do you think there needs to be a balanced budget amendment to the Constitution?
I'm fine with a balanced budget amendment, but you shouldn't have to do it. I mean, you don't have to balance budget amendment in your household, and you figure it out. I mean, you don't go borrow money like that. You know that there will be a day of reckoning.